morning, everyone. Welcome to another Coffee and Conversation.
Top of the morning.
Good to see y'all. Good to see y'all today. I'm gonna check and make sure everything's working on my end real quick. But I'm glad y'all here. See what we got.
Tomorrow we have Recovery on Wheels. Don't forget about that. It's at Millville in the mini park across from City Liquor from 10 to 2. Right?
Yeah, I believe that's what they can come out for. And Roll is our Recovery on Wheels, I believe.
In the walk.
Yep. Oh, and our walk, we're walking through recovery every Friday at 11 in the morning, and we're meeting at the Christian Salvation Army.
And we celebrating, what's the young lady spotlight this month?
Miss Nicole Smith. Recovery Spotlight. Look on Capital Recovery Center's page and share it with your friends and followers, if you will. And every month we will have a spotlight recovery where we spotlight an individual for the success that they have maintained. If you would like to be one of those individuals, just go to Capital Recovery Center, find the last or the previous spotlight individual, and there's a link there, and you can put in your information on the link, and we can spotlight you if you will allow us to. All right. Let's get ready again. Welcome to Capital Recovery Center's Coffee and Conversation. My name's Michael. I'm one of your recovery coaches.
I am Craig, also one of your recovery coaches.
And I'm Karen, also a recovery coach.
All right. Thank everybody for tuning in and that who's online. And if you have any questions, just put the questions in the comment section. And we will answer the questions based on the best of our knowledge that we have at this particular time. So what that simply means is our answers can go farther or deeper than what we give you. So don't make our answers to any questions the end all. I hope y'all understand that.
The end all or be all.
End all or be all. We just giving you from our perspective of our educational what we know. Today we're going to finish, we've been going over the 5 rules of recovery, which is a handout that we received from the Addictions and Recovery.org website. They have resources in there that's available for anyone to download, use for themselves, for group settings or whatever. We have been going over the 5 rules of recovery. Rule number 1 was change your life so that it's easier not to use. Rule number 2 was ask for help and develop a recovery circle. And rule number 3 was be completely honest with yourself and everyone in your recovery circle. And rule number 4 is practice self-care.
Yeah.
Wow, this is a very real big situation here. So practicing self-care is the topic of this particular coffee and conversation. And again, the things we will discuss, if you have any questions or you would like to add to this, you can always put it in the comment section on our live stream and we can discuss it if you will. Anybody want to start off?
I'll read. And rule number 4, practice self-care. And it says, there are only a few reasons why people use drugs and alcohol. They use to escape, relax, and reward themselves. In other words, people use drugs and alcohol as a form of self-care and self-medication.
And he said 3 important things right there. I talk about, or I teach about, or tell individuals, try to get down. Okay, I'm going to come from my perspective. For 22 years, I used drugs, and I could not figure out why I was continuing to do things to myself that I know that eventually, if I kept doing it, I would die. So my mentor told me, instead of focusing on all the drugs you're doing, try to get down to the core of why you are doing the drugs. So I focused on the core reason why I was doing the particular drugs, what I came up with in my own analysis of what I was doing, I came up with that I was an insecure man at that particular time. Once I realized that I was doing the drugs, because when I was under the influence of these drugs, I was able to do a lot more, speak a lot more, go out a lot more, interact a lot more. So I got down to the core that I'm able to do those things even if I don't have the substance in me. And what he read right here, he says the only reasons why people use drugs and alcohol, they use it to escape, relax, and reward themselves. So get down to the core of why, one of the reasons of why you think that you are doing the particular drugs. Welcome, Miss Niles.
Hi, Melissa.
Hey, welcome, Miss Now. And for me myself, I can relate to all three of these issues. Well, escape, relax, and reward themselves. Because me myself, I am in recovery, and a lot of times I used to escape and find myself, when I call myself escaping, when I came down from being high, my problems still exist.
It didn't go nowhere?
It ain't go nowhere. And when I did hold the job down, I felt that I needed to relax, and after working 8 hours or 10 hours a day, I want to unwind. And so these are numbered excuses, that I have had incorporated into my lifestyle, and thought that I needed those things because I didn't really know how to have alternative thoughts or alternative processes that I could have been doing. Instead of when I came home from work, I could have went for a nice bike ride.
Something.
I could have went and played some basketball. Mike, you're a basketball player.
Not this week.
Not this week. Huh?
Nah, I went and played with the young kids the other day, Tuesday. My knees still ain't right. I let them talk me into it. That's called pride.
But what do young people tell you to do? Don't come out here and
go play golf. One of the young kids, beautiful young man, he said, "Hey, listen, Pop, just go play golf, man. Don't." Boy, my knee been hurting ever since. I don't even know what day it was. I went over there. Last Tuesday.
But it was therapeutic.
It was very therapeutic. But look at the next thing. When we were talking about self-care and how people use different reasons why they use the substance. But it says recovery doesn't mean denying yourself ways to relax or escape or reward yourself. It means finding better ways to do those things. So although the things that you want to do, you might want to escape, you might want to relax, or you might want to reward yourself. We are not saying, this is not saying, or in general, we don't want you to think that you can't do those things. Like you're not entitled to be rewarded for something. You're not entitled to relax or escape and find time of peace. You can do all those things. You just have to find better ways to do them away from or apart from the substance that you're using.
Better outlet.
Better outlet. Learning new coping skills, if you will.
All right. You want to finish reading that? Or
Yeah, I go. It says, if you don't find better ways to take care of yourself, you will eventually feel irritable, exhausted, and discontented. If you have those feelings for too long, you will begin to think about using to escape. If you don't find better ways to take care of yourself, you have to find better ways of taking care of yourself. We talking about self-care. Every individual has to find their particular niche or what they need to better take care of themselves. In my own relationship, in my marriage, my wife and I have different things that we enjoy for relaxation. But in order for us to actually be successful with each other, we came up with this terminology. We have to enter into each other's world. And that just means that you do this to take care of yourself, I do this to take care of myself, but there are some times where we have to enter into each other's world. And this is the same thing with you. When you're trying to develop your self-care, some things you might not really enjoy like others, but if you go into that particular world, you might enjoy relaxing. Like everybody can't just close their eyes and listen to some jazz. You know, just relax. They be like, man, I'm not doing that. I need something with words on it. I need something. Yeah. But sometimes you have to find some things to better take care of yourself, if you will.
Yeah, I like that approach, right? When it comes to relationships.
Yeah.
That was a great analysis because a lot of people struggle with that.
Yes.
In relationship. But when it comes to Capital Recovery Center, we're going to be a great outlet for those. Matter of fact, Karen just made mention of the walk.
Yeah, when is the walk again?
It's on Friday at 11 in the morning.
All right. Meet us at the Salvation Army this Friday for another recovery walk.
Right.
It was raining last week. We showed up.
Right, in Bristol, right?
Yes.
And so if you're feeling some type of stress or you're feeling that you need some outlet, come and join us this Friday at 11 a.m. here in Bristol, New Jersey. The great city of Bristol, that's the mayor.
The mayor always said.
Right, the great city of Bristol, New Jersey. Come out and hey, you know, if you're having relationship issues or you may have recovery issues, come out and let that be your outlet. Because once we open, we're going to have a therapeutic room where you can come in here and enjoy some nice environment. And so,
relaxation.
Karen's thinking about teaching painting. I hate putting her on the spot, but
yeah, she got these ideas.
Yeah, but those are great outlets, you know, and they therapeutic.
And they're different. It's another person's world. You want to go into another person's world. It's not just something that you do with in relationships with husbands or wives or whatever. It's like she has that idea or she did it before. I want to try it. I never done it, you know. So
yeah, my skills ain't all the way up.
I don't care. I still want to do it.
Right?
I still want to do it. So that's something that you can do. Again, we're talking about rule number 4, which is talking about self-care. And again, I want to put emphasis on it. Says it doesn't mean finding better ways to do. It means finding better ways to do those things. What simply would get misunderstood sometimes. There are a lot of things that I like to do when I was actively using drugs. I remember I love basketball, right? I always loved playing basketball. And I remember insanely, not in my right mind, we had a championship game and I did some cocaine before the game. And sadly, or whatever, I became the MVP of that game. And I remember coming out the locker room after doing the drugs, and my wife was sitting on the bleachers, and I made this statement. She still remembers it. I came out the locker room and said, I feel marvelous. And I said, I feel marvelous. Because I had just put cocaine in my body, and I knew that I was feeling up to speed or whatever. Thank God, obviously, I didn't die. But why am I bringing that up? That's something that I still like doing. Basketball. I still love to play basketball. But I no longer do basketball or play basketball with the substance in my life. You know what I mean? So it's not saying that things you enjoy doing, you have to get rid of them. You just have to find better ways to do them. And that comes when you develop self-care.
Mm-hmm. And that is, you know, we know that's cocaine, a medical term they call it, creates a euphoria. And so and you don't need cocaine to create a euphoria in your lifestyle. You create your own euphoria naturally and holistically.
Nice. My college, I knew my college professor would show up. I knew he'd show up sooner or later.
I figured I threw that out.
Yeah, I can tell y'all this. Self-care may sound selfish. After all, who has time to escape, relax, and reward themselves? But that is exactly what people do when they turn to their addiction. It is a selfish thing. And I never believed that until later on after the fact that I realized that substance use was actually a selfish thing because I neglected my children, I neglected my responsibilities. Anybody who may not admit it, but to use any type of substance or alcohol like that is actually a selfish thing. All right, who's going? Karen.
Self-care is essential for mental well-being. If you don't consciously make time for self-care, you will unconsciously make time for it by using. Self-care doesn't have to be fancy trips or frivolous shopping. It begins with healthy eating and sleeping habits. Develop better sleep habits so that you're less tired. Eat a healthier lunch so you're not as hungry at the end of the day. Learn how to relax so that you're not filled with fears and resentments. These are some of the components of HALT mentioned earlier. What is it? Hunger, anger,
Angry,
loneliness, and tired.
Good stuff, Miss Karen. She's sharp, bro. She's sitting right here next week. Hey, I had to try to remember
them acronyms like that.
That's good. But she says self-care doesn't have to be a fancy trips and stuff like that. It don't have to be something fancy. Literally, you can be doing something to take care of yourself. You have to find different ways. I actually have a remote control car. I'm going to be 50 in like 2 weeks. I go outside, my neighbors be like, Mike, this how you be relaxing. I'll be sitting on my porch playing with a toy truck. And to me, people probably think that's nothing. But I'm actually relaxing, having fun, running into stuff, breaking down bushes. And it's just relaxing for me. And that's something that you got to find. It don't have to be something big for you. I like to travel. I like to do things like that. But when you're coming out of a lifestyle where you live this terrible lifestyle, me and Craig was talking about it, where as though it becomes your world. You in this world and it's surrounded by, you don't go outside of the realm of anything dealing with the addiction, where you buy it, who's selling it, who's using it. That's a different world. But after you come out of that world, you have to start to build a different world outside of that world that you were just previously living in. And that all takes process of developing your self-care.
And for me, we have 2 dogs, me and my wife, Evelyn. Shout out, baby. But anyway, no, we have 2 dogs. My boo. We have 2 dogs, Jewel and Diamond, and you know, it's something about having dogs or pets or whatever animal that you may have, or it's very the joy I get out of by interacting with them, because they're so loving, you know. And a lot of people they may find different other ways to enjoy themselves or find alternative ways. One of mine, I don't go fishing because I'm not a fishing advocate, because I don't have a fishing pole, but I love to go fishing when I'm able to do that. And also, what else I like to do? Go swimming.
Oh, we got a swimmer over here.
Got a swimmer.
You got a swimmer. You almost lost it.
So when the weather's getting hot,
go swimming.
Take a dip.
Take a dip. All right, what we got here? The next one of my favorites, mind, body, and relaxation. I'm going to show you a video sometimes this week. We have a little relaxation room here at Capital Recovery Center. Oh, it's really set up really nice. It has a little room. We have a little speaker in there. We can put some music on. You can relax. Just calm down. Take some load off of yourself. Relax. A lot of times people do not relax. Self-care deals with mind, body, and relaxation. Just take it easy.
I used it last Friday to stretch before we went on.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you have to remember, we have this available to you. It says when you're tense, you tend to do what's familiar and wrong instead of what's new and right. When you're tense, you're not open to change. The evidence is overwhelming that various forms of mind-body relaxation, yoga, mindfulness, meditation, and the effects are effective in reducing the use of drugs and alcohol. Mind-body relaxation has also been shown to prevent relapse. Relaxation, you have to take the time to, if you ask a host of individuals, when was the last time you did nothing? They probably couldn't even tell you. The last time I just actually sat still and just relaxed and did absolutely nothing, but took a quiet time to myself, a person probably wouldn't be able to tell you.
And for me, I just want to share this. This Saturday, this weekend, past weekend that's left, I really enjoyed doing the front lawn.
Nice.
Just to see the results, because it was bushy, looking crazy. And so once I did that, I was sore maybe a few hours after that.
I know.
But Friday,
But it looked good.
But Sunday after church, I did
good.
what you just said, Mike.
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And that's a good place for relaxation. When you coming out of, again, we're talking about when you're coming out of that old lifestyle into this new lifestyle. And we're talking about developing your self-care. Don't have fear of doing nothing and relaxing and think if I sit there and relax and I'm not doing something all the time. I'm not saying to abandon your recovery strategies that you have. I'm saying that you have to take time for self-care. We have in our house, we have one room in our house where there is absolutely no clock, there is absolutely no lamps, there is absolutely no television, no phones, anything in there. It's plants and couches. That's it. This whole room, when we are in that room, it's just someone is just either meditating or relaxing. It's nothing. We got the light from the ceiling. That's it. Other than that, there's no clock in there, no phone in there, no TV in there. It's a relaxation room. You just sit there and it's awesome because my wife has antique like furniture in there. It's like not up to date. It's just relaxed. In the old times, they didn't have all this stuff that we have. So you get in that atmosphere of self-care and do a lot of mind-body relaxation.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
What we got? Let's see where we at. It's set. Go ahead.
All right. Well, do we have anybody that would like to chime in?
Any questions out there about self-care?
Questions, comments?
You can put it in the comment section.
All right. I'll read on.
All right.
And
Melissa says self-care is so important.
So important.
It is so important. Thank you.
Thank you, Melissa. We appreciate that comment because
It is very
I'm quite
important.
sure a lot of people agree with that.
Yeah.
All right. It reads, it says, the first rule of recovery is that you must change your life. Let me read that again just in case I read it too fast.
Yeah, read that over.
The first rule of recovery is that you must change your life. But what you do need to change? But what do you need to change? That's a question. What do you need to change? If people use drugs and alcohol to relieve tension, then learning to relax is one of the most important skills if you want to change your life.
That's good because it says learning. It's not something that will come instantly. Learning to relax. One of the things, one of the areas, or one of the ways that I learned to relax was I learned from my pastor. And I remember my pastor was preaching one day at church, and he told us about how he was up all night and he was worried about this and he was worried about that. And he said his wife walked past him and said, "You know you're not God, right?" And what she was saying to him was, no matter how many problems you stay up and try to solve, you will not be able to solve every problem or everything you're thinking about. And I learned how to relax from that, knowing that all of us will go through things in our lives coming out of recovery, or if you never had a substance use issue at all, we will always have things that we will have to deal with. If we won't properly relax, those things that we're worrying about will consume us, and it will eat up our own 24 hours that we have in our day. Mm-hmm. So you have to learn to relax. Learning to relax is admitted to the fact that you can't solve every problem you're thinking about anyway.
Yeah.
That's the serenity prayer.
Mm-hmm.
God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. You need to understand that most of the things that keep us up worrying and keep us from taking better care of ourselves are things that we cannot control.
Yeah. And even though we're talking about those who suffer from addiction, recovery, and relaxation, and all that good stuff, Also, we got those who are in the facilitator role, those who are recovery coaches and counselors and sponsors.
That needs it.
That needs it because there's a high rate of burnout
In this field.
in this field. And so burnout just don't work on just geared towards one aspect of those with addiction, but those who don't have an addiction as well. And so taking care of yourself is so vital, because if you ain't no good to yourself, how are you gonna be good to someone else?
Yeah, because if you're not properly taking care of yourself, if you feel tired, do you know how they have now, during the pandemic, they have the phrase or the term you hear often, if you feel sick, stay home.
Yeah.
If you feel like you're not up to your standard that you're normally up to, even if you're not sick, just stay home. That means you need to relax. Instead of keep pushing it and pushing it and pushing it, you will burn yourself out, and then your body will actually shut down.
Yeah.
That's true.
And then you bring so much tension among people that you're surrounded.
Yes, just stay home. It says if you manage to stop using but don't learn how to relax, your tensions will build and build until you'll have to relapse just to escape. Wow. Tension is the most common cause of relapse. If you manage to stop using but don't learn how to relax, your tension will build and build until you have to relapse to escape. Wow. It's saying that if you don't, again, manage to learn how to relax.
Right.
You have to learn how to do it, because I literally, it took me a long time to be able to get to that place. I ain't telling you I mastered it in 1 month. Right. It took me a few years to learn that I can't solve all my kids' problems. I can't solve all my relationship issues. I was trying to solve it all in one particular whop, but that wasn't going to happen. You got to learn it, though. There is only one reason why people don't relax, because they think they're too busy to relax. It goes something like this. I know it makes sense, but I've got so many other things I have to do. Woo-wee, you got a lot. I learned this from my main man, my professor, Craig Dingle.
Pause.
One day he said something to me, and I was like, man, he right. I was talking to him about this. I had boom, 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 boom. I had all these things. He said, man, you got a lot on your plate. Yeah. And I went home, and I was sitting there, and I was in the room where there's no television, and my wife said, what you thinking about? I said, emptying my plate. And she said, what do you mean? Self-care. I started to go through everything I had on my plate. I did honestly finish strong the things that I did have. I didn't just drop them and say, yo, I'm out of here, I quit, I'm leaving. I finished strong, and then I stopped putting stuff on my plate. When you are trying to develop your self-care and you get so busy, I mean, when you're so busy, if something pops up and you say, I have to check my calendar and see if I have the available time, that's too busy. If you can't instantly say, I can do it Tuesday, Thursday, or Friday, you have to check everything. You're too busy. It's too much. When are you taking time out for you? Self-care is very important.
Ask yourself.
Ask yourself.
How much time did you spend on your addiction? Let me read that again. Ask yourself. How much time did you spend on your addiction? If you add up all the time it took you to get your drug, used it, deal with its consequences, and plan your next relapse, you'll realize that relaxing for 20 or 40 minutes a day is a bargain. Can't beat
it. Man, you know how you had to...
Can't beat that with a baseball bat.
All that you had to go through.
All that A, B, C, D.
Get it?
Now it's time to take some R&R.
It said you had to go get it, use it, deal with the consequence of it, and then plan your next relapse. Mm-hmm. So all that time, I always say that the same energy and tenacity that you went with your substance use, you got to use on your recovery side.
Mm-hmm. You do say that, Mike.
You have to.
You told me to say, well, if you worried about people saying this and that about you, going to relapse or rehab
to get help.
To get help.
Don't tell them I'm in the program. I think it's one of the stupidest things ever. I never understood it. I don't want you to know I'm getting help. But everybody in your community and the town next to your community knew you was using. Because that's the town you used to go steal from.
Yeah.
Right, that was close. So yeah, that doesn't make sense.
And the last one?
Go ahead, Ms. Karen.
The last one says, relaxation is not an optional part of recovery. It's essential to recovery. There are many ways to relax. They range from simple techniques like going for a walk to more structured techniques like mindfulness and meditation.
Good stuff. Again, we was going over the five rules of recovery that we got from the Action and Recovery website. They got a whole list of things that y'all can download and use for your own personal edification or whatever, however you choose to use it. Rule number 1 we did was change your life so that it's easier to not use. Rule number 2, ask for help and develop a recovery circle. Rule number 3, be completely honest with yourself and everyone in your recovery circle. And rule number 4 today was practice self-care. Again, my name's Michael Williams. I'm from the Capital Recovery Center, one of your recovery coaches.
And I'm Craig, also one of your recovery coaches. Take care of yourself out there.
And I'm Karen. Thank you for joining.
You guys did a great job.
Thank you.
Self-care. Self-care. That's
All
right.
Thank
All right,
you.
you guys.
Thank
Right.
you.
Take care.
I'm proud of you guys.
All right. Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Self-care.